For nearly 2 decades, football fans have lived through the greatest rivalry the sport has ever seen. Every goal Lionel Messi scored seemed to demand a response from Cristiano Ronaldo. Every trophy one lifted pushed the other to reach even greater heights. They didn't just dominate football. They defined an entire generation. But now, as the 2026 FIFA World Cup unfolds, something feels different. For the first time, the rivalry doesn't feel competitive anymore. And honestly, that's what makes it so emotional. Because this isn't really about Messi or Ronaldo. It's about time. It's about watching two heroes who once seemed immortal finally becoming human. Imagine looking up to your father your entire life, watching him do things that felt impossible. Then one day you realize he can't move the same way anymore. He can't do the things he once made look effortless. He's still the same person, but time has caught up. And that's exactly what football fans are experiencing right now. Messi is 38 years old. Ronaldo is 41. Both are playing in what could be their final World Cup. Yet their performances couldn't look more different. Before Portugal's opening match against DR Congo, many observers predicted Ronaldo would struggle. Not because they're fortune tellers, but because the evidence has been building for years. The numbers tell a worrying story. Since the 2022 World Cup, Ronaldo has failed to score in major tournament football. Through the European Championship and into this World Cup, chances have come and gone, but the goals have dried up. Against DR Congo, Portugal dominated possession but struggled to create anything meaningful. And while many rushed to blame Ronaldo, the truth is more complicated. Portugal were poor. The midfield lacked creativity. The attack looked predictable. Despite controlling the ball for most of the match, Portugal generated very little danger. This wasn't solely Ronaldo's fault, but it did highlight a reality that has become impossible to ignore. Cristiano Ronaldo is no longer the player he once was, and that's perfectly normal. He's 41 years old. What makes the situation difficult isn't Ronaldo's decline. It's the fact that Lionel Messi continues to look extraordinary. Subscribe before we continue. If you're enjoying this football documentary and want more deep dives into the biggest stories of the World Cup, make sure you subscribe now and turn on notifications. We've got plenty more coming throughout the tournament. Now let's continue. While Ronaldo appears increasingly limited to the role of a traditional striker, Messi continues to influence every aspect of Argentina's game. Against Algeria, Messi didn't just score a hat-trick. He controlled the match. He dropped deep to collect possession. He linked midfield with attack. He created opportunities for teammates. And when chances appeared, he finished them with the calmness that has defined his entire career. What's remarkable isn't simply that Messi scored. It's how he scored. The first goal came from intelligent movement between the lines. The second showcased his anticipation, reacting first to a rebound while everyone else stood still. The third was classic Messi. One touch, quick adjustment, precise finish into the corner. 3 completely different goals. 3 reminders that almost every part of his game still exists. The pace may have faded. The acceleration isn't what it once was. But the vision, the intelligence, the technique, the decision-making, those qualities remain untouched. That's why age affects Messi differently. Ronaldo built much of his greatness on athletic dominance. Explosive speed, power, strength, aerial ability, physical superiority. Messi built his greatness on technical mastery. His game was always rooted in intelligence and skill, and technical brilliance ages far more gracefully than physical explosiveness. Today, Ronaldo often waits for service. Messi creates it. Ronaldo looks for chances. Messi manufactures them. That's the difference we're seeing. And it's becoming larger with every passing year. But none of this should diminish Ronaldo's legacy. Not even slightly. This is still one of the greatest players football has ever seen. A man who shattered records, won titles across multiple countries, scored goals at a rate nobody thought possible. Nothing happening in 2026 changes any of that. The problem is that fans are still trying to compare the current versions of Messi and Ronaldo as if they're competing at the same level. They're not, and perhaps they haven't been for several years. That's why the conversation feels sad. For most of football history, whenever Messi did something special, Ronaldo responded. Whenever Ronaldo achieved something incredible, Messi answered back. That cycle created one of sport's greatest rivalries. Now, for the first time, one side of the rivalry appears unable to respond. Not because of effort, not because of desire, but because time eventually defeats everyone. Even Cristiano Ronaldo. Meanwhile, Messi looks like a man enjoying one final adventure with his friends. He already achieved the ultimate prize by winning the World Cup. He no longer appears burdened by legacy debates. He's simply playing football, and perhaps that's why he's performing with such freedom. As the tournament continues, the contrast will remain one of the biggest stories. Argentina face Austria next. Portugal prepare for another crucial test. Maybe things will change. Maybe Ronaldo will produce one final unforgettable moment. Football has taught us never to underestimate legends. But if current form continues, the story seems clear. Messi remains the center of Argentina's universe. Ronaldo is fighting to remain central to Portugal's. And that's something none of us expected to witness when this rivalry began almost 20 years ago. Because eventually every era ends. Every rivalry fades. Every legend grows older. What we're watching isn't Ronaldo's failure. It's simply the final chapter of football's greatest rivalry. And perhaps that's why it feels so emotional. Final thoughts. What do you think? Has the Messi versus Ronaldo debate finally come to an end? Or can Ronaldo still produce one last magical World Cup moment? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with fellow football fans. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.